2015 MIS case competition. We're going to thank our judges, Ramin Kapal from the CPA, Barbara Scheffner from MCO, Ken Seacon from Commotion College, Leslie Brown from Connect here in Canada, Ian Taylor from Island Medicinal Solutions, and Katie McGilligan from Xerox. The judges will have a maximum of 20 minutes to present, after which time they'll have 5 minutes for questions and answers. And please turn your phones to silent. And our volunteer timekeeper will show time chronometer during your presentation. Whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, Milsha. You're looking at a world of opportunities in terms of your growth plan for the next 5 years, but before you are able to sustain that growth and before you're able to reach that growth, you have some core issues at your business that you need to solve. My name is Ben, and these are my colleagues Lila and Paul, and we're here today to help you get to that growth. Now, looking at how to optimize your current business practices to allow for that growth, taking away the manual parts of your financial modules and your customer management information. What this will allow you to do is be able to grow at the scale that you have already planned, and allow you to have a system that will enable you to not only grow to the plan you have, but grow beyond that and be able to be successful in the future. And what we're going to be doing is implementing a cloud-based ERP system to enable you to manage your financial modules as well as your customer relationship side, and that will enable you to grow to reach your full goals as an organization. Now, how to optimize. We see the first part, we need to looking at managing the customer relationships with the restaurants in terms of each month. We need to be looking at managing the finances, because you have a very manual process right now for your finances and trying to deal with the money and checks, and you have a volunteer accountant right now, which is also another time constraint with that. And the other thing too is looking at a long-term strategy to try and help grow your business from an IT side, looking at how to do that so you can help you reach your sales goals.
Before we further offer our recommendation, we have to analyze what kind of process your company is having. So we see that currently your company is managing relationships with clients, which are your restaurants, and also the charity and also the consumers for restaurants as well. So we see that all the information are kept actually on the Excel sheet, and also all those information is managed by volunteers. So we know that inefficient management of your information will actually not help your company to seize the opportunity for future growth, and also is harmful for relationships between all your stakeholders. So lastly is how currently your data is stored and managed with your company. Your company is facing actually a really promised future. So your company will increase triple size and also seize 500 restaurants within by 2015. And also in the long run, your company's goal is over 1,000 restaurants. So with this growth in mind, your information is all kept in Excel sheet, and also the Gmails and also the notepad on the phone for employees. So we see that this is not an efficient way for a company in terms of the future growth. So in order to seize the opportunity, your company has several priorities. First is to optimize the current process. See how are you going to manage or customize or change your current process to facilitate that growth. Next, the big thing is to manage the stakeholder relationships, which is the key for your business as a not-for-profit company. So in terms of stakeholders, we analyzed four main groups. One is the restaurants. So the restaurants, the key consideration is that they want their investment or the donation get the highest return, and they want the restaurant's reputation. Second is the charity. What they value the most is the continuous donation from your company. Next is the consumers. The consumer from the restaurants. They want their donation to have the fastest, simple impact or the return from their donation, and that's what your company's goal as well. Lastly is the co-founders or the key stakeholder, key management level from your company. So they want, what you consider the most is to optimize all the current process to facilitate the future growth, to actually help the charity, help the most people who need their meal. So in the long run, we see that there's an alignment between your business operation and also your IT systems. And that's why we are here to provide a solution about how to use IT system to facilitate and align with your business growth. And to further look into the IT system, we analyzed your current business process, and we identified several business modules or the functionalities that your company need in terms of your IT system. So for example, your company needs the marketing automation system to further reach out different restaurants and also to shift the responsibility of outreach into restaurants from your shoulder to your restaurants, to let the restaurants actually find you and look into your opportunities. And another one, for example, internal data mapping and also the billing modules are something that are essential for a company in terms of our internal operation, and that will facilitate or ensure external relationships as well. Other than the functionalities, which will help your company to meet all the requirements in a technical way, there's other requirements for the alternatives. The other one is the cost. Because of as a not-for-profit company, cost is something that is essential for a company, even though that's not the main focus, but that's something that keeps your business running. The next one is the ease to implement. Because your company is seeing fast growth, so being able to implement the new system fast is something that your company will value the most. Lastly is the scalability. As I mentioned earlier, because of the future growth, the IT system your company will choose will have to be able to scale based on the future expansion or based on the size of the company in terms of module and also other functionalities as well. And we will offer several alternatives by our partner.
Yes, so I understand your company wants us to give a suggestion which alternative of the CRM will be the best option for your companies. But have you ever thought about that? Does ERP is really an option for your company, so for your business model? So we take a step further to provide another two options. So the first one will be the customer relationship management, which is the ERP. The second one will be the data warehouse. The third one will be the enterprise resource planning system, which is the ERP. So we'll go through one by one. So for the CRM, so what is CRM? So CRM is used to manage your customer information, your activity, your customer activity and the history process, the purchase. So you have to keep in mind, most CRM do not have financial module and do not have any billing module. We understand that a company might only need to keep those records as a figure, as a number. But have you thought about in the future, you might need to know some ROI, financial analysis. So if you choose CRM, the chances you probably have to buy another software, for example, like QuickBooks for the financial analysis, if you want to do any financial integration report and analysis. So the second option, data warehouse. So what is data warehouse? So you can imagine data warehouse is a huge database with all data into one system. So normally when we talk about database, we talk about relational database, but most of the time data warehouse is dimensional database. What does it mean? It means you probably have to spend triple your time to implement, to create, we call aggregate function, to start building the dimensional database, which is the data warehouse. It is a good choice for long term, but in short term, I understand your company want to start using the system within a couple months. It's impossible for your company to build a data warehouse at least a strong data warehouse within half a year. So third one will be ERP. So what is ERP? So ERP is enterprise resource planning. So ERP have all modules. The sky is the limit. You can purchase whatever module you want. For example, like financial module, email alert. There's also some options for you to connect the Google API to your Google Calendar, Google Email. But the downside for the ERP is it's probably expensive to buy a license, to buy the user account. So as you may know, the Oracle and the SAP are top standard. But a couple of suggestions we give to your company is you might choose another type of ERP, which will be the cloud-based. It will be much cheaper for you, it will give you more flexibility. So based on 4 criteria my colleague Leila introduced, we highly suggested you just take like ERP as the system your company want to implement.
So moving forward, as we've talked about, we recommend implementing a cloud-based ERP because it'll allow your system to automate the financial modules, and within that ERP system you can have a CRM to still manage the customer relationship data. And what this will do is it'll give you the platforms and the IT support to grow your business at the scale you want to, and be able to take it in a sustainable way where you're not wearing out your people and driving them to do hours extra work, whereby burning them out. And so what this will do is, so we recommend implementing a cloud-based ERP, and for a long-term strategy, recommend using social media to try and enhance your marketing from an IT perspective to try and bring in those extra clients. And what this will do is to help to reach your long-term goals and help you to become easier at implementing or getting that 1,000 by 2019. So for implementing the NetSuite, why are we doing it? It provides you the functionality, or implementing a cloud-based ERP such as NetSuite is an example. It's going to be able to allow you to have remote access, so while you're traveling to new restaurants and while you're trying to get that business and reach those growth goals, you're still going to be able to access the information. Second, it's going to allow you to automate those financial processes, so your accountant is not going to become overwhelmed by the growth, and it's going to allow you to better enable to your business development team to reach out to new clients and to also help to draw out that support and better understand what the clients are wanting. And it also provides you with a data backup, which will allow you to provide extra security and provide security for your data. Now, how are we going to be doing this? First of all, as we talked about, money is concerned. So first of all, looking to fundraise for this IT project through reaching through your connections through your advisor network and your board of directors, and using the network that your company has to try and reach out for the funds for this project. Once we have the funds for this, hiring one contractor that's certified by the ERP system that you choose to implement, so that they can provide the data configuration, the data migration, and help with the determining the dependencies. And then you'll be able to use the vendor, which provides 20 hours free service when you choose to implement that with them, and they'll be able to help you with the training as well as some of the initial data configuration. And what this system will do is enable you to do future growth in a sustainable way. Now, what we need to make sure for the change management side is understanding that the users that use the system, your people in your company, need to understand that this is a system that, although it's going to take some time to learn how to use, and it's a totally different way of doing things, it's going to enable you to make your jobs easier, it's going to enable you to do the success, and it's going to enable you to fulfill the vision that you came to the company for as employees. And we're going to be providing flexible training, recognizing that we have to work with difficult schedules that will be provided by the vendor, and making sure that the two co-founders have meetings with the employees regularly to check on how they're doing with the training, as well as to re-emphasize the benefits from using this system. Now, for the contractor requirements, you want to make sure that in picking the contractor that you, it's best making sure they're certified in the ERP system. You're going to make sure they're going to be able to work quickly without minimal training, and they're also going to be able to do this in an effective way with minimizing your risk. And we're going to need to make sure they're available for at least 2 months, because we recognize that implementing this is going to take approximately 2 months for your business. And make sure that when we negotiate with this contractor, that as a part of contingency for this, that if the funds are not raised within the pre-thought 4 months that you've already described, that we delay or that we have in the contract a contingency that if we can't raise the funds, we simply delay the project implementation so that we aren't on the hook for paying the contractor without having the funds available.
So we know that every employee, they have to understand why your company needs a new system and how to use the new system. So who will be trained are the 2 co-founders, one accountant that currently is managed by a volunteer, and also the vice president of the business operation. Based on the size of the company, we realize only four members need to use the system at the initial stage to decrease the cost for a company. So when will the training happen? It's around, it will be around 1 hour per week for 2 months to actually let them know how to use the system and also the benefit of the system. And also, this will be done by the vendor within the 30 hours they provide for free with our contract with the vendor. So that will be free of cost for the company. And so the main content or the main message that will be delivered is about how to use the ERP system and how this will help your company in the long run.
Now, social media. Looking at how we take that long-term strategy to the next level, of how we use IT to help support this business growth. We recommend implementing Hootsuite and doing social media competitions with your restaurants, or coordinating with them to do social media competitions. We recommend doing this strategy, though, implementing Hootsuite in approximately 1 year's time, and the social media competitions in approximately 2 years' time, after you have this ERP system implemented, and you're able to use these, use social media to help drum that business and help bring it to you, as well as to help grow your existing clients' satisfaction and help to drum in more business for them, which drums in more business for you for the meal share program. And what this will do is you'll have to, in terms of doing this, you'll have to purchase a license for Hootsuite to use each month. And you'll have to reach out for the social media campaign. We'll want to make sure that you reach out to the restaurants to make sure, and picking the restaurants to be the ones that have already contributed the most to the meal share program, that we know they're responding well to it and that clients come to picking that program, and then using that to drum up for the support of social media. Now, what is this going to cost? We recommend that the contractor is going to cost approximately $25,000 for the 2 months' time, and that this total for the first year is going to be $25,000. Ongoing costs are going to be approximately $6,000 a year for the license fee, broken into $125 for 4 users each month, so it's $125 per month, and you're only having 4 users right now. And then an annual cost of maintenance or support from the contractor at approximately $1,000 for a set number of hours that they'll be able to support you, and then if you need more, you can obviously contract more.
So what should your company do in order to get that stage? Just 2 things we have to emphasize. The first one is fundraising. So understand your company as a non-for-profit. The budget might be one of the issues concerned about. The second is how to implement the NetSuite ERP we introduced. So back to the first plan. For the planning stage, we suggest you to budget at least an amount to design the plan, how to do the fundraising plan, and how to at least have some meeting with executive team to prove all the process, both from financial point of view and from people point of view. As long as you got approved, we suggest your company to hire NetSuite contract. You will see that from this implementation plan will be pretty short. The reason is we think your vendor NetSuite can refer the people who hold NetSuite certificate and do that for you. And it will be save your time to do the training, to do the module design configuration. And what's the details that for the ERP implementation plan? So the first, all of your executive and the contract you hire must work together to define what functionality you need. And then contract can offer what kind of the modules they can provide to you. As I mentioned, ERP, NetSuite, especially NetSuite, they have full modules. At this stage, and not necessary for a company to have all modules like financial, like the manufacturing. That one is not very necessary. So we suggest your company to only take CRM module and financial module to meet your current business requirements. So how does it do is contract will be responsible for all like the mapping or the designing. They probably will create a couple saved map within the NetSuite. So even they left your company, your employer can still click one button, just get refreshed, still can redo the data migration. Another challenge you probably have is because of data quality. So currently you have a different data resources and data type is unclear. So it might take more time, as you can see from our implementation plan, to do the data cleanup. So cleanup will cover the like the type, or is to fix the wrong last name, first name. And the last one was the unit test. So unit test also cover like the workflow. As long as you put those 2 modules together, you will test the workflow throughout some testing data, and we'll release the code form.
So 2 main risks we recognize here is that the ERP is delayed in the implementation, and what this will, you see this as being a low risk level because you're going to be picking an experienced contractor, and that but the risk impact of this being high. Recommend the mitigation for this, as we said, is having a contractor that has that certification and understanding the system, so that the risk of them not knowing the system and being able to apply it to your business is very low, and that therefore they're going to be able to do it on time and on budget. And the second main thing is that you can't raise enough funds. We recommend signing the contractor with the agreement that you'll only start the work once you have the funds raised, and recognizing that as you grow in the next couple of months, your revenues are also going to increase, and you're going to therefore almost in some ways be able to self-fund yourselves in that sense too. So what this solution will be able to do is it will allow you to grow as a company. It will give you the systems that can actually sustain that growth in a company, because quite simply just a CRM or a smaller fix is not going to solve your heart of your issues that are going to stop, and therefore having a system like this is going to allow you to grow, it's going to allow you to reach your goals, and it's going to do it in a manner that you can work with it and budget for your company. Thank you. Now I'll talk with further questions.
Just looking at the strategy costs here, could you flip that slide back a second? Where are the, sorry, it's flipped on you again. Does the license fee include the hosting and running on the cloud as well?
Yes.
You got that factored in there?
Yes.
That license fee?
Yes.
So the license fee is because it's cloud-based ERP, they host it on the vendor's network, and it's $129 per license per month, and so therefore because you're affordable to need a license right now, it's going to be about $6.
So as far as the people are concerned, do you envision having to hire any additional people over the next 1 to 5 years with implementing the SERP?
Yes, of course, because based on the size or the budget constraint for a company, in the long run, hiring full-time employees will be a great option for a company, because even though it's not for profit, but some departments, for example, accountant or the IT staff that manage the system, will be needed as the full-time employees to fully dedicate to this new system. So yes, 1 to 5 years, full employees will be hired.
4 employees will be hired?
Full-time employees will be
full-time.
hired. Yeah.
So I want you to expand a little bit more on the social media competition and what the point of that in the whole recommendation is. So how does that fit in? Because it kind of seems like this piece out here that's not really part of what we asked you to do.
Well, what we're looking at is the idea of, okay, so once you fix this problem in terms of your system, look into the next stage of how do we use IT to support your business growth. And by doing these social media competitions, you're going to be able to drum up growth from restaurants seeing the impact of the social media and seeing these customers talking about it when they talk about food or when they tag food on Twitter and Facebook. And what this will do is help to drum up restaurants to join you without needing to go and reach them. And so it'll use social media to get restaurants to come to you.
One of the things that you have on the last slide is that you would break even first year?
First year of implementation.
Yeah, so how? Can you explain how that can happen?
Sure, so 1 year after you've implemented, you'll be able to, according to your current growth projections, you'll be able to reach the break-even point for, you'll be able to reach the break-even point with actually within the first 6 months to a year, depending on how quickly you grow for your revenues. And this is based on the fact that right now your current systems are only going to be able to manage so many people, and so therefore your growth is going to be capped very quickly if you don't fix your current problems right now.
In terms of the social media piece, just to jump back to that, who would you recommend from our team today be the one who's owning that? Like, would we be hiring somebody to manage the social media piece, or?
Well, right now we recommend having your co-founders manage the social media piece. However, this is also something that will be implemented in 1 year's time after you've done the ERP. And so we can definitely look at, once you get closer to that date, if your co-founders are too busy and they need somebody to hire them, they can. But it's something to be looked at closer to the implementation of that.
This puts a lot of eggs into one basket. What happens if it doesn't work?
I mean, for the new system didn't work.
Yeah,
So
we
we
put
saw-
all of our eggs into this, we put it in an investment, we've raised all the money up front, we go through this, and then all of a sudden, in a year from now, it doesn't work. What happens?
When you got this, so we put this in like the risk, where you saw the probability was extremely lower. The reason is we suggest a company hire a contract who hold certificate provided from SBs, which is a vendor,
Okay.
to do that, to all the configuration for you. And another, the fact is your company only have like 4 employees. So even you have a lot of data, it's easier, obviously easier for the vendor for the contractor to train 4 employees or even like end user how to use the system, how to use the system properly, how to insert data correctly. And also NetSuite is like top standard in the cloud-based market, especially as it has more than 20 years the industry.
Okay.
There's high reputation, so the risk is extremely lower.
You know, from your functionality requirements, the order of priority says marketing automation is #1, and billing module at number 5. I think billing is more immediate, right?
That order is not based on the priority, however, it just the numbering how many modules that actually your company needs to meet.
Okay.